On episode 24, you're not going to miss my Western Conference team preview recap from the past season. Oh, it's going to be great. I'm going to go over all 15 teams in the Western Conference. Then, midway, though, you're not going to miss Carson Basham. He's lighting up Arizona with tons of offers. Big-time player. They're about ready to get recognized. Finally. Then you're not going to miss the interviews. You got all kinds of stuff you're going to share insight on about what's going on in Section 7. Playing Team Arsenal. Playing at Sunnyslope. Oh, it's going to be a great one. And then, of course, SchuZ. I got a few things I got to address right now. That being said, everyone, enjoy today's episode. Episode 24 is now on its way. How's everyone doing today? Hope that everyone's week has been blessed, and I hope that you guys are all ready for one of the biggest weekends of the year, because I sure do know that I am. Well, with that being said, though, I am your host, SchuZ Shoemaker, and I'm here at my home in Gilbert, Arizona, and I'm ready to give you guys a Western Conference free agency preview right before the free agency kicks off in just a couple of days. Stay tuned, though, because you're not going to want to miss what special guest Carson Basham says as he comes on the show to discuss all of his recent offers as he's been blowing up recently after the Section 7 tournament. But before that, let's head right into the Pacific Division. So the first team out of the Pacific Division is the Golden State Warriors. Of course, they won the Western Conference. Let's get right into them. Obviously, this will be a summer of change, or it could be the summer of keeping the exact same rosters, having to go through a year of rehab. We really don't know, but as what we do know, that the Warriors finished the season off at 57-25 and lost in the NBA Final to the Toronto Raptors, snapping a potential three-peat. So what do we have to say about that? Well, their free agents are the obvious ones. Kevin Durant, he opted out of his contract, but he also has torn Achilles, don't forget. Klay Thompson, he has a torn ACL. Boogie Cousins, he's a free agent. Quinn Cook, Jonas Jerebko, Kevon Looney, Jordan Bell, Andrew Bogut are all free agents. Now there's potential of Draymond Green, Damian Jones, Alfonso McKinney, Sean Livingston, and Andre Iguodala in terms of extending them. Potentially, though, Livingston and Iguodala might both retire, though we're hearing that Iguodala will come back one more year. Livingston we have to hear about. That being said, Golden State's cap situation is a very tricky one. We're not really sure what they're going to be able to do here, because when you look at it, salary cap. There's going to be a $53.7 million in cap holds. And in cap space, they have negative $13.9 million. That being said, what are they going to do with that? Well, there's not much you can do, which is why the big issue here is you have to be able to sign the free agents. Plain and simple. They have to be able to re-sign the guys. If you trade for them, that might work, but not necessarily, depending on who they can get and at what price. As of right now, this is what you're locked in at. Your starting lineup will be Stephen Curry, Jordan Poole, Andre Iguodala, Draymond Green, and Damian Jones. That's your starting five. You have different guys. You have Jacob Evans, you've got Sean Livingston, you have Alfonso McKinney all on your bench. That's only 8 players, though. You're also going to have guys like Alan Smologic. I don't know if he's going to come over. And you got the other rookie, Eric Pascal, out of Villanova. He's a good pickup. I like him a lot, but that's what you got right now. Not a lot of depth. There's a lot of young players. They made a few trades already, but not much. So, what are you going to say about that? Well, supposedly the owner reportedly talked about this, that they will both offer Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson a 5-year max, and the owner promised for sure to re-sign Klay Thompson. So we'll see what happens there. But Klay Thompson, you have to remember, since he did not make an All-NBA team, he will not qualify for Supermax, which does help out the Warriors, because Klay Thompson loses out on $31 million. Bradley Beal also had that effect on his contract. So, what's going to happen here? Well, I think you're going to look at something like this. I think Kevin Durant's gone. I would be shocked if Klay Thompson leaves, but he might. You're going to have to start making moves. Start having to clear the book. I don't know how you trade Draymond. It's going to be unfortunate, but I say you might have to look at that. Although they will have to think about it. Draymond will be a potential extension candidate this summer. A really big one. He wants the Supermax part of the season. He kind of dwindled off because he had an off regular season, but then the playoffs boosted him back up where I think he's back at least talk for the max contract. I'm not sure about Supermax. Now, I don't know what they're going to necessarily do. They're in a lot of debt and they need a lot of help. We'll see exactly what goes down here, but the Golden State Warriors will be either in a summer for change or summer keeping the exact roster, just rebuilding. But I do know one thing. They are not going to be the dominant force that they were in prior years. We saw what they looked, and they were able to be exposed and beat by the Toronto Raptors, plain and simple. But with that being said, that was with them being hurt. So what do you do when they're still hurt? We don't know. Steph Curry might have a huge year. He might be an MVP favorite. We'll see what goes down. And that's what we got going on for the Golden State Warriors right now. All right, so the next team we're going to get into is the LA Clippers. The big surprises this year, obviously Brooklyn and Clippers, Kings can somewhat consider, but especially Brooklyn and Clippers were the big surprises that have now potentially vaulted themselves above the biggest market in their states they're respectively in. That being said, Clippers finished the record in the year off of the 48 34 record. They obviously went and won 2 games against the Golden State Warriors in the first round, while Golden State was pretty much all healthy. Big time storyline there. What Clippers have done? Well, you look at the lineup, they got a whole bunch of young guys that we all love. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I'm very high on. Landry Shamet and company. And obviously the great duo of Montrezl Harrell and Lou Williams off the bench. You're free and stuff for this team. Patrick Beverley, we're going to talk about him. He's going to be someone that's commanding about a 3-year, $40 million deal no matter where he goes. So he's going to have to keep an eye on him. I'm not sure if he's going to remain with the Clippers, but we all saw what the impact he had on Kevin Durant was, and a healthy Kevin Durant, may I say. Jonathan Motley and Angel Delgado, the two-way contracts, both impressive. They both high on them. I wouldn't be shocked if you see them come back. Wilson Chandler, Ivica Zubac. Now we're going to see what he does. We're not exactly sure what they're going to move with him, but he was crucial to this team. The playoffs, not as much, though. Gary Temple's a free agent, JaMychal Green, and Rodney McGruder. They had that waiver claim at the end of the year, but we're not exactly sure if he's going to stay. He's more of a risk gamble. We'll see what happens there. Now, extension potential guys, you're going to see Danilo Gallinari and Montrezl Harrell. Calvin Wallace and Sendero Thornwell as well, but don't expect them to get extended. But Montrezl Harrell and Gallinari, it really depends on what the contracts are and who they sign if they get extended. Now, here's the big stuff. The salary cap for the LA Clippers, $82.8 million in cap holds. The salary cap, therefore, $54.1 million. That being said, the LA Clippers do not have enough money to sign 2 max players right now. We have to realize that. They do not. They will have to move Danilo Gallinari to make the second max spot. So if you see a trade of Danilo Gallinari in the coming days or weeks, expect them to be pursuing, if not expected to sign, one more of the max player. Alright? Then, about the rookies, they got a couple guys. They got Mfiondu Kabengele. I really like him out of Florida State. A really good center that might potentially mean the replacement of Harrell or his potential new starter next year. I really do like his game. And Terrence Mann, Kabengele's teammate in Florida State, another really good player, a really good defensive player to really watch out for. I really, really, truly do like that addition onto that roster. Now, especially to go along with SGA and Landry Shamet. Now you're going to talk about this. Butler and Kawhi are very much interested in this, an increasing possibility, according to The Athletic, that Jimmy Butler and Kawhi Leonard will be joining forces in LA, and not the Lakers, but the LA Clippers. That'd be a huge thing. Obviously, not only takes Kawhi away from the Lakers, but we're not really expecting that. But along with Jimmy Butler, we form a dynamic duo in LA to go along with a young core, which LA does not have. They have to trade off literally every piece on the roster, besides Kuzma, obviously, which will form an incredible two-way duo that you're not going to miss in LA if that occurs. That's going to be a show. Now, let's talk more about Kawhi Leonard. It is reportedly a 2-team race between the LA Clippers and the Toronto Raptors. Lakers might as well also get a meeting, but currently with the LA Clippers, there's a meeting tentatively scheduled in LA with Kawhi Leonard on July 2nd. We'll see what that goes down. Now, as I talked about Beverly seeking a 3-year, $40 million deal, if indeed LA is going after the 2 superstars, 2 max contracts, Beverly will be out and probably heading elsewhere. It's reported the Clippers are also eyeing Horford. Not sure how true that is, but he might be one of the max guys to watch out for. And Clay will also is very open to meeting with the LA Clippers, especially and only if Golden State does not offer him a max deal. If Golden State offers him a max deal, I believe it's a done deal. That 5-year, 180, 190, whatever it might be, deal will be done and in the books. Now, Tobias Harris, they're interested in a Tobias Harris reunion. Remember, the big trade deadline move, where they did that to create the free agency spot. Then one of the max spots, they traded him out, traded a whole bunch of other pieces off to the Philadelphia 76ers for Landry Shamet and assets. Well, they might be getting Tobias Harris back. Now, originally you might think of this, well, what the heck? They traded off max spots just to go give him a max spot. Yeah. And that part, maybe that is a little weird. But they also added in someone named Landry Shamet. He's pretty good. If you've really watched, I think you guys will realize that. I love that addition, if that is indeed what happens. Although, in my opinion, I've always talked about this. The bench is the third most important person on a team. You need at least a 6-man. They also got Lou and Montrezl that can keep them real good. But if you can go add on depth like Bobby Portis, add on guys, keep Beverly, you're locked in, especially if you can get to Kawhi and Jimmy Butler. That's what I'm looking for from the LA Clippers. But there will be a big summer of what Jerry West and company and Doc Rivers has to do. But so far, they've impressed everyone, I truly do believe. Now, the other big old surprise from this past year was the Sacramento Kings in the Western Conference, as they finished with a surprising 39-43 win record. Big time improvements from multiple guys across the board. De'Aaron Fox obviously is third place in most improved voting, but I believe Buddy Hield should have taken his spot in the big 3. The point is they had 2 of the most improved players. They saw the great signs in the rising superstar Marvin Bagley, the third. Obviously, you see Harry Giles has shown flashes. Bogdanovich was incredible. They traded for Harrison Barnes, although he did opt out. We'll get into that in a minute, though. So they're looking bright, very bright to be in fact. Now, free agents for them, Kuzma Kufis. You hear reports now Right? They are interested in bringing him back, but they're expected also to potentially, most likely, they'll be splitting parts. Willie Cauley-Stein, there's big drama there and a big dilemma, as he's reportedly wants out. He doesn't want anything to do with them as according to his owner, or his agent, and he's very much against them in returning. He wants a fresh start, as reports have said, so don't expect him to be back. Although, expect Sacramento to extend a qualifying offer that they will hold leverage against him. Now, Troy Williams is also a free agent. He was a good pickup they had mid-season. Alec Burks is a free agent. Harrison Barnes, I said, opted out. Corey Brewer is also a free agent. There's going to be some guys that are going to look to resign, but guys will probably be on their way out. Extension eligible: Bogdan Bogdanovic, Buddy Hield, Frank Mason, Wenyen Gabriel, and Yogi Ferrell. Now, Frank Mason and Yogi Ferrell, wouldn't really expect them to be extended, nor will Wenyen Gabriel, but Buddy Hield is supposed to be extension done. I know they're high on him. He's a great shooting guard, great for this young core. Unless they pull off the trigger and do a big trade this summer, we'll see what happens. Sacramento and Vlade is shaped up now, and they truly have a great thing going for them. Bogdan Bogdanovic, I think he'll be traded this summer. I know they like the bench. I know they value him and they like him. Unless he's going to take Buddy Hield's spot, we'll see. But I don't believe both those guys will be on the roster starting next season. Salary cap: $86.34 million in cap holds with a $59.1 million in cap space. That being said, you're looking at this. They let all those guys really go. If you re-sign Harrison Barnes at $25 million, you still have another max spot available. With that max spot, you're looking at potentially adding somebody like Al Horford, which I very likely think that's going to be occurring. We have a starting lineup of De'Aaron Fox, Buddy Hield, Harrison Barnes, Marvin Bagley, and Al Horford, which is a very nice young team with a nice veteran down low. So that team is the team that's going to make the playoffs and has a contending potential down the line. That being said, when you have that, you can go over the limit as much as you want, just to pay the tax bill if you want to extend the player and re-sign him that way, or if you trade. But you cannot do it, in fact, if indeed the person is, or if you're trying to get him from free agency if he's on another team. That being said, let's talk more about this as they had a couple picks. They drafted Justin James out of Wyoming. Very good player, I think. He's going to be a long-term project, though. They drafted a European player, Vanjas Markonovic, out of Serbia. He's probably most likely going to be held overseas. But the guy I want to talk about that I'm very high on, you guys know it. I said he's a first-round potential. He's the guy that has potential to become the Chris Middleton of this year's second-round pick. He has the potential to be a guy almost like Klay Thompson. This might be too high of praise, but the potential. That's Kyle Guy of Virginia. We saw what he did on the big stage of Virginia. He's a big-time player that makes big-time shots. You slide him in there for more shooting, give him a shooting guard small forward spot, very high on that. I think he's going to be, in fact, magnificent with this roster, and be careful. Watch out what's going to happen there. They made a couple of moves that involving picks, but we'll see. Other news about Sacramento Kings. As I said, Harrison Barnes did decline the $25.1 million, but he is open to exploring a new deal. I wouldn't be shocked if we see him remain a Sacramento King. Now, we heard reports early in the year that they were interested in Nikola Vucevic out of Orlando. No longer the case, but they are interested now in Corey Joseph. There are also rumors and rumblings about Al Horford, but expect to pursue a backup solid point guard, a guy that can help mentor and continue to grow De'Aaron Fox. I think Frank Mason, Yogi Ferrell are good players, but I don't know if they're their guy that they're looking for. But Sacramento, this is the summer that they can make the big step in the big stages to the next level, and expect them to do that this year, if not next year. So far, from about 4 different teams. We're in the Pacific Division. Next up is the LA Lakers. Wow. Fourth team to be talked about? Yes. Well, they only won 37 games. The record this year was 37-45. That's concerning, is it not? Oh yeah, also by the way, they only have 4 players on the roster right now. Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Town Horton-Tucker, and Kyle Kuzma. Not the best. But on the bright side, Magic Johnson left. Maybe not on the bright side for many people's ideas, but look, they got Anthony Davis, and they might just be laying another guy. Let me talk about that, though. Now, they made the move today, trading Murphy Wagner, Isaac Bongo, Geronimo Jones, a lot of stuff they involved in the Anthony Davis trade now to where they're going out to Washington. $1.1 million was then traded over from Washington to New Orleans, part of that deal. And AD decided to waive his $4 million trade kicker. That is now a part making opening and a hole to open up a $32 million cap opening. Sign another max player. Now, LA had a great young future. It's out in New Orleans. Part of it's out in Washington. Yeah. Free agents for this team, though. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, they are interested in bringing him back, depending on a reasonable deal. Tyson Chandler, Rajon Rondo, Lance Stevenson, JaVale McGee, they like to bring back unless he gets a big-time contract. Mike Muscala, Alex Caruso, and Jonathan Williams, their contracts were tendered, meaning they can now match the restricted free agents. Reggie Bullock, the big player. I'm not sure if they're going to bring him back, but he's a very good player. Now, salary cap, they have $59 million in cap hold. They were only at $22.2 million to start off the day on Thursday. Well, look at this now. They're at $32 million for the move. Big time move from them. Now they're gonna have an interesting team. Frank Vogel's gonna have a great group, but will he be able to match it and play great basketball with him? We'll see. What you're looking at right now, as I said, starting lineup of 4 guys: Kyle Horton-Tucker, Kyle Kuzma, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. Now, granted, 2 of those guys are top 5 players in the NBA, superstars. The other one's a very good player. Drafted talent Horton-Tucker. Not something too special, but something is about them they like him. They were expected to go get more second-round picks, but that did not occur. Now, another big deal. I've talked about that. The Anthony Davis trade. Yep. The trade today, not adding in those other players. They better be able to get another max player, but either way, I kind of like it. Although, Isaac Bonga, I am very high on him. I think he's got a very bright future if someone gives him the chance to run the point guard or at least play minutes. On the other bright side, Maurice Wagner, we'll see what he does. Romano Jones, I expect him to be waived, as it's not really guaranteed he'll only be a $500,000 cap hit against the team. So, that being said, a lot of stuff will keep going down to LA Lakers. Let's get into some of the rumors, though. So, starting it off now, Anthony Davis is no longer eligible for the Supermax extension of the $235.5 million, and it was not because he didn't make an All-NBA team, but because he was traded and no longer a member of the Pelicans. Now, they traded all those players in the Anthony Davis trade. They also traded off the 2022 second-round pick, which is also going to Washington. Now, here's the big story. A lot of people have been talking about D'Angelo Russell returning to LA Lakers. As a Brooklyn fan, I'm upset. I love D'Angelo, and I hate seeing him go. Obviously, what's best for us, I know Sean Marks, I can trust him fully. But still, D'Angelo Russell might be out. Not only that, it's the LA Lakers. I think Minnesota is the place he'll end up being. I would be shocked if he goes here. But I think D'Angelo, wherever it is, I think he's established himself, and LeBron will hold him to the right responsibility level. And I think D'Angelo could be perfect for them. If they have the money, they'll definitely go sign him now. $32 million, that's more than enough to go sign D'Angelo Russell. Now, but on the other hand, let me talk about this. If I'm the LA Lakers, unless I can potentially get Kawhi Leonard, I'm not going after another max star. I'm leaving that max star position opening to go and get me a bench and role players. You gotta do that. You have to do that. Listen, I talk about this. You need your superstar, the guy you build around, most likely your small forward or your point forward. That's LeBron James. It doesn't get much better than that. He's right there next to Giannis. He's right there next to all those other guys. He is the best of the best, and it doesn't get much better. Second best thing I say, I want a rim protector, just like Rudy Gobert. Well, you get yourself more than a rim protector. How does a Rudy Gobert with ball handling skills, a shot, and able to guard all 5 positions on the court, and a very athletic guy can dunk on you from anywhere? Oh yeah, he shoots a pretty high percentage too, and he, by the way, can pass. Yeah, I like that. Anthony Davis. That's the best rim protector you can get in the game right now. So yeah, at him. My third thing's always, go and get yourself a bench, especially a 6-man. Use that $32 million opening, go get some guys. Now listen, they're interested in Patrick Beverly. Perfect. Lock him in. He wants a $3 or $40 million deal, get him. Other guys might be eyeing Al Horford, he wants a 4-year deal, don't do it. Derek Favors reportedly has a good play style with LeBron James. Depending on what you guys are going to get him for. Under $10 million, get him. DeAndre Jordan, Brook Lopez. I like Brook Lopez, DeAndre Jordan, not so much, because you already got Anthony Davis there. Brook Lopez goes space the floor, not sure I'd fit in as well, but go get him if you can. If it's under $10 million as well. Probably around $8 or $9 million for Brook Lopez if you're the LA Lakers. Other teams might be around the $12 to $13 million range. Now, other guys you might want to look into is a whole lot of guys. You need Seth Curry. Bobby Portis, he wants about $60 million annually, so I would pass on that if that's the case. Enes Kanter would be a good addition off the bench. Terrence Ross would be a dream scenario. I think you get Danny Green for sure to be starting at shooting guard. I mean, you got a whole bunch of different guys. Break it apart and figure it out. Obviously, all those guys are not coming, but I think Danny Green's a priority. I say you got to go get Terrence Ross. He's a priority. Maybe try prying away another great 6-man, Jamal Crawford. You might begin J.R. Smith, a lot of Kyle Korver. Get those guys, fill out your roster, make a good one, not just minimum contracts. It won't work. That's not going to work. LeBron might be able to go on forever, but he wants to start winning rings now so he can get more potentially. Also, Kawhi Leonard is keeping an eye on how much money the Lakers are able to free up. Now, they got to the limit. There's not much more they can free up, so we'll see what that means. He is going to be doing a meeting with the LA Lakers, though. That's the only person. If you can get Kawhi Leonard, I think Kawhi, LeBron, Anthony Davis, and a Kyle Kuzma man can probably be able to go win a national championship no matter what you do. You can go add in guys like there's minimum deals. Like, do it. Whatever happens, happens. But that's the case. Unless you get Kawhi Leonard, there's no way. No way am I doing that. You need a bench and you need to go fill that out. Make the right move, Rob Pelinka and crew, Genie Butts, all you guys, go make the right move. That's what you gotta do if you're the LA Lakers. Alright, folks. 5th team and the last team in the Pacific Division is the Phoenix Suns. Yep. 1963 once again. Not surprising. What's gonna happen in Phoenix, I'm not sure. Listen, y'all know how hyped I was. I said it was a new day in Phoenix right now when they got Monty Williams. That was a huge hiring, taking him away from LA. All going great. Kelly Oubre and all those other Phoenix Suns players going great. Everything's looking great. Looks like we're getting a top 5 pick. Lottery hits us. Don't get it. Okay. Uh-oh. Back to being Phoenix. Not necessarily, though. They're still hype. I'm still happy. We're looking good. Now you're going to hear rumors. What's going to happen on the draft day? What's going to happen on draft day? Well, I don't know. Well, I'll get into that in a minute. You guys know where I'm heading with that one. So, right now you're looking at a team. A lot of good players. A lot of good young players. A lot of good young players that are power forwards and small forwards. Huh. Not very good. Free agents, though. Kelly Oubre, his day was tendered. He's a restricted free agent. Although I don't expect him to be back now, folks. Troy Daniels, he is a free agent. Jamal Crawford is a free agent. Bender's a free agent. Sean Holmes is a free agent. Tyler Johnson did exercise his option. He is back in it unless he gets traded, obviously. Now what are you going to do with that? Well, Bender, I still don't know why they didn't pick up his option, or at least consider it last year. Why not just have the leverage on him? He didn't do bad at the end of the year. I still like him. They just never give him a chance. Now, guys, are extension eligible. Jonathan Melton, he's the only one. I don't know if he's going to be extended. I don't know where he's going to be down the line. I like his game, but this reminds us of thing way too quickly, just like I did with Isaiah Whitehead out in Brooklyn. Salary cap for the Phoenix Suns, $32.92 million in cap holds with a $21.42 million cap space. That being said, we'll see what they do with that. I'm not exactly positive, not really sure what they're going to do with it, but there's a lot of stuff. I think it needs to be addressing a point guard, though. Obviously, you have the new coach, Monty Williams. You got James Jones officially up there, and Robert Sarver appears to be backing down a little bit. So, as of right now, you draft this. Cameron Johnson and Ty Jerome. Now, very mixed opinions. I'm going to label out this draft to the C. Listen to this, folks. You do all this stuff, right? As I said. Draft comes at the 6th pick in the draft. All right, we can work with that. They knew Kobe White was going to be there. They knew other fellas were going to be there. Garland might have had a chance for being around there. Jarrett Culver, they could have got him. They trade down to the 11th with the Minnesota Timberwolves. They pull in Dario Saric. Now, if you remember, prior to the draft, they traded off T.J. Warren, number 32 overall pick, for cash. No. At this point, I got super hyped, though. They just traded away a small forward. You know, that means Kelly Oubre is going to come back, and we got the money to do it. Awesome. I was hyped up, celebrating. 20 minutes later, we get another trade. Phoenix Suns decided to trade for Dario Saric in the number 11 pick, but we're going to go with the number 6 pick. What? Oh, okay, though. Dario Saric's fine. We can move him to the power forward. It means there's only one forward spot open for about, let's see, a lot of guys. All right, we can work with that. I like Dario. I like it. 11th pick, we still can get another young asset. Maybe someone like Sekou Doumbouya. We get something like that. I know he's a forward, but he's someone that has max potential. You just let him develop on the bottom. Maybe you go trade back even further and draft another guy. I don't know. Well, we come out here and down the line, and Atlanta makes another pick. Cameron Reddish, 11th pick in the draft. Phoenix Suns are on the clock, and Cameron Johnson out of the University of North Carolina. What? I mean, excuse me, what? I'm all due respect to Cameron Johnson. I hope you prove everyone wrong. Not saying you're a bad player. Actually, I thought you were going to be a very good player for Philadelphia. But you see, Philadelphia was number 24 pick in the draft, and, well, Phoenix was number 11. Cameron Johnson, he has the same Kyle Kuzma, not as bad as McCall, but he's older, 23 years old. He's way older than everyone else for a rookie. I mean, it's not even comparable. Yeah, we're going to have him at number 11 when he was projected to be in late 20s, if not maybe mid-20s. Oh, my Lord. And guess what? The best part is that he's a small forward. So what does that add to it? Well, I'm glad you guys asked. Because now you guys are looking at a team of Kelly Oubre. You got Josh Jackson. You got Mikal Bridges. And you got Cameron Johnson. Yep. You got Dario Saric is also your power forward. Huh. Well, that's what you got there. Not sure what happened. Therefore, that's what I'm saying. First of all, there's not really enough money necessary to retain Kelly Oubre. Especially when you gotta go get yourself a point guard. But also, there's another small forward that you can be battling with, so I don't know why you're going to have that many young guys. I know that also means that Josh Jackson is officially going to be traded. Don't expect him to be here much longer. Mikal Bridges is the guy with Cameron Johnson, so that I just don't know, folks. But although what you do know is Devin Booker's starting shooting guard, Dario's your starting power forward, and DeAndre's your starting center. Although, another twist real quick. Reportedly, if indeed Phoenix Suns aren't able to lure in and get D'Angelo Russell from Brooklyn, Booker might be out. Might be like, well, he's just on an extension. He likes it here. Yeah, he likes it here, but he also wants to win. He doesn't want to waste his career here. Also, you see, Anthony Davis, he kind of worked that out pretty well, right? Got paid to sit down, didn't really play many games, just go to his dream team. Yeah, Devin Booker could do that too. I think a lot of teams will value Devin Booker a lot. Well, then they go and trade, and they get another pick. to Utah. They get another pick. I like it. I like it. And they get Ty Jerome. Now this is where they even out a C because Ty Jerome I give an A plus. I love the addition. Yes, he's older, but you picked him later on in the draft, later in the 20s. I like it. He's a guy who can develop. He knows how to win a championship. He'll be able to be the backup point guard of the future. Maybe start and be like high ceiling of Ricky Rubio. We'll see something like that. Maybe a lower ceiling or like a Raymond Felton kind of player. I really do like his game. Ty Johnson also opted out. I don't expect him to remain at the Phoenix Suns for too long. We got options. Well, let me do another trade, folks. We decided to go and trade for Aaron Baines and the number 24 pick, which we ended up obviously getting Ty Jerome with. And then we gave up our 2020 Milwaukee pick. Aaron Baines, that means that Rashawn Holmes is out. Aaron Baines is a new backup center. I like it. Solid, whatever. That's what we got going on now. Now, along with this, Phoenix Suns, they're interested in re-signing former U of A player Rondae Hollis-Jefferson. Great addition. Love it. They need a defense. I know there's another forward, but I expect Josh to be gone. I expect some of those guys to be gone. Backup power forward, whatever it may be. And they're also interested in Corey Joseph. Obviously, that's on the Mike Conley sticks. They're also looking in for D'Angelo Russell. We'll see if that happens. I don't think he's going to go to Phoenix, to be honest. Not much he wants to. Yeah, Booker, cool. You can call it a friendship, relationship, but no. Listen up. I hear a lot of people talking about this. They say, well, that he's going to come here and he's able to help facilitate the offense. No, not really. That's not what he's coming here to do. Yeah, now he gets a bunch of assists, but you just watched the same D'Angelo Russell I just watched? If you guys did, D'Angelo Russell's not a guy that's going to go sit there and facilitate. No, he's not Ricky Rubio. He's not Rondo. No. If D'Angelo Russell goes to Phoenix, he's the number one player. Sorry. He's the number one player. Booker, you're off to the side. You second man. Because listen, D'Angelo Russell is better than Devin Booker. I don't know if everyone understands that right now. Devin Booker has yet to make the playoffs. His team's been dead last for almost every single year. Not really good there. Oh, D'Angelo Russell, yeah. He led his team out of the bottom thing with not much talent, a lot of injuries to all his best players, and they're in the playoffs. You might say numbers were better. Yeah, I don't care. D'Angelo Russell led us into the playoffs. D'Angelo comes to Phoenix. He's the top guy. Stop saying he's the facilitator. He's not none of that. D'Angelo Russell will be the number one player and the number one option if he comes to D to Phoenix. You got to understand this now. D'Angelo Russell, Max Dillon is going to be the guy. He's proven he can be it, and he's going to be it. If only he's taking a backseat, if you're telling me Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James, Giannis Antetokounmpo, one of those guys are your top guy. Booker, he's not taking a second seat to. Booker will take the seat next to him. So you gotta understand this. I don't think he's going to come there. I don't care what Booker says to him. D'Angelo knows what's going to happen, and he knows that might ruin their friendship. He's not going there. Although I do see him going once again is Minnesota, but we'll get into that in a minute. One thing that really needs to get done with the Suns this year, they need to change something that's going on. I'm going to list some of these players that they've given up on too early. They've irritated and made them move on. Many different options and offers, but they really do not know how to develop players. That must change right now if you're a Phoenix Suns fan and if you're the organization. Let me talk to you. Phoenix needs playoff players. I don't care what you want to say. If you want to ship out veterans, whatever you want to do, no. Veterans are crucial and a key component to every playoff team. That's why Brooklyn became a good team. That's why Sacramento led. That's why so many teams, Clippers, all these teams had veterans that led the players. Young guys aren't supposed to ever just get to go. They don't know. You need to follow someone. If you just put a baby into the world, what are they going to do? How are they going to learn to do anything without someone trying to nurture them and help them? Exactly. So, let's talk about this. They haven't made the playoffs in a very long time. Here's some of the players that are playoff mentality, that are great players, and they've just let go. PJ Tucker, Markieff and Marcus Morris, you guys hated them. Well, I'm sorry to say to you guys, but they made the playoffs about every single year they've been away from Phoenix, and you guys still haven't done it, so I don't think it's their fault. But that's a story for another day. Jared Dudley won a crucial part to Brooklyn. Y'all just let him go for... You actually gave Brooklyn a second-round pick to let go of him. I'm not sure where that happened. Goran Dragic, Eric Bledsoe, Isaiah Thomas. You guys know you guys put three good point guards together and somehow irritated all three of them to make them move on. Yeah, that was not good. You guys made Gerald Green, Ish Smith, one of the best backup point guards, Robin Lopez, Channing Frye, Anthony Tolliver, all these guys. Keep them on there. All these guys are crucial components to playoff teams right now. Now listen to this list. I think you guys are going to be upset now. You guys decided to let these guys just walk. Either drafted them later in the draft, or you guys signed them out on undrafted free agency, whatever it might have been. Phoenix has screwed this over. Seth Curry is the first guy I want to talk about. Look what he's doing. He's an attractive guy, very good NBA player. Just let him walk. You even want to sign him that. Cut him. Reggie Bullock, cut him. Look at what he did out there. Went out to Clippers, was solid. Then moved out to Detroit, was a starter. Went to LA, was a big time player. He's a big time player and a shooter in the NBA now. Elfrid Payton gave him half a season. Definitely was going to be better than any of the point guard options we had last year. Whatever you want to say there. Here's one that really bothers me. Derrick Jones Jr. Everyone loved him. Was in the slam dunk contest. Finally gave something for pride for Phoenix. And what did they do? Oh, they just cut him. Wow. All right, great. So you just let go of one of the high flying guys that Eric Spoelstra said he has the potential to be something like Scottie Pippen. I don't know. If he was just a bench worthy player, Phoenix should have taken him. You got to be kidding me. They really need to grow up there. Daniel House, big time player within. They had two times with Daniel House. Let him go both times. Houston got a hold of him. Look what happened. Shaquille Harrison, a very good player that was potentially going to start for Phoenix. They surprisingly cut him. Was a very good player for Chicago this past year. Alex Len, you guys drafted him high. Didn't develop him well. Went up to Atlanta. Let him shoot threes. Look what he did. He actually had a pretty solid year out there. Not going to lie. Dragon Bender, you guys are just going to let him walk now. And I guarantee something will come out of him. The amount of guys that gets picked low and all, it's ridiculous. Phoenix needs to start learning how to develop talent and keep them. That's what San Antonio does. That's what Toronto just did. They didn't have a single lottery pick, and they won the championship. You don't need that stuff to be up there. You need to learn how to develop a player and keep the players you have. Stop just changing players and changing the whole roster and turning upside down every single summer. That's not how championship teams are built, and that's why they're in the situation they are right now. Although I do believe in James Jones, I know him. He does great. He's doing great work. He's a great guy, and I think he's going to change things. But that's one thing that Phoenix really must focus on. But that is what you got for Phoenix Suns. Big summer, not a good draft, but we'll see if they can redeem themselves and if Cameron Johnson really has all that skill. Coming up next, you're not going to miss what Sunnyslope star and Arsenal star has to say. Getting Carson Basham. He lit it up at the Section 7 tournament in Arizona. He's landing offers left and right from people like TCU. He's got Grant Kenny. He's got so many big-time offers. You're not going to miss what he has to say. Coming up next, Carson Basham. You're not going to miss it. I'm blessed to be able to welcome one of AZ's hottest talents right now in Sunnyslope and Arsenal star Carson Basham. How are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good. Let's get into this. Obviously, you're picking up a ton of offers right now from a ton of different colleges. Talk about some of those offers.
Well, the first offer I got that kind of started off was my ULM offer last year. That one was probably the craziest, biggest reaction from me. I was in the airport, just got back from a tournament, and my trainer, KP, told me. And then going from that one to my TC when I got a couple days ago, it's been crazy. First time major, awesome. All the way from that.
That's awesome. So which ones would you say would be some of your favorites so far?
Some of my favorites, well, I have to mention TCU because that's my first time major.
Mm-hmm.
And then other than that, they're all like, I can't like give you a definite one that's my favorite yet because I love all the schools. All of them have been contacting me. All the coaches have been cool. Virginia Tech, actually, they haven't offered me yet, but they've been super cool to me, talking to me a lot. Love those guys. All the coaches I've talked to, super cool so far, all of them.
That's great. Is there any offer that's necessarily a dream offer or one that you always wanted to have growing up?
Growing up, I was always a UCLA fan, so that would kind of be my dream offer.
That's awesome. Have they reached out to you yet? Or
actually, last year I went on an unofficial there, and the coach that brought me there is actually the one that gave me the offer from TCU because he moved over there. So I have had some contact with them.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Section 7. So obviously there's a new thing for AAA and all of America in terms of the basketball. We don't have scouts come watch high school games. What do you think the impact was, and what was your take on the first year of it?
It was an amazing experience, to be honest. I've never really seen that many high school teams come together like that in such a national tournament in Arizona, so it was kind of cool to see. And I was kind of proud of my team and the way we played in it and got to show out. A lot of guys got interest that they hadn't had before, so it was awesome.
That's great. Let's talk a little bit more about Sunnyslope then. Why originally did you decide to go to Sunnyslope?
So in 8th grade, I wanted to go to a school. Any other high school in my area, I knew I would have gone on varsity first year. But I saw them as like a challenge. I knew I would develop a lot more. They had a really great team that year with Allen and Kyle Fisher and all them just coming off the two state championships in a row. So I knew that's where I wanted to go to get my education. And I knew that's where I'd get better with all the great coaches they have there.
No doubt. Let's talk a little about your team then. What's some of the guys that's going to help lead the team and help produce at a high level this year?
Well, we have Grady Lewis, who just got his first offer at Section 7, so that was big time for him from UC Davis. Me and Grady are kind of the post dynamic duo down there. Okay. And then we have Paul Hayden, who just got a bunch of interests from Section 7, which helped out. He's our facilitator, ball handler, does a little bit of everything off the wing. And then we have our new transfer from Rancho, Elijah Saunders, who will have to sit out half the season, but he's going to be a great, impactful player as soon as he gets back. He's going to be big time. And then we have our point guards, Oakland and Malcolm. They're leading the team facilitators. That'll be our core. That'll lead us through the season.
That's awesome. So what are the expectations for this upcoming season?
We're looking to go undefeated this year and get the championship. We're looking to go all the way.
So who would you say, in your opinion, can be some of the biggest matchups you guys are going to face this year?
The biggest matchup for us by far is what we're looking forward to is a Millennium game. That's going to be big.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. I mean, especially seeing the two big men, I mean, between you and Duran, it's going to be a great
Oh
show.
yeah, it's going to be amazing.
Mm-hmm. So have you ever considered going to prep school?
It's been an option. We discussed it going into this year, and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of them are just too far. And I just love the dudes at Sunnyslope, and I don't really want to leave them.
No doubt. I mean, that's definitely something that's always, I mean, there's benefits to both sides of it. I mean, obviously, the prep school, you get to play against the best of the best every time, and you have more opportunities for college. But if you're able to stand out and you still get the offers at a regular school, you still get the high school experience, and you can't really take that away from anything.
Oh yeah, it's a if I let's say I was go to Hillcrest or Bella Vista, I'd get the exposure, all that. But I'm already getting the offers, and I love the dudes at
Mm-hmm.
Sunnyslope. So there's really no point in leaving.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about club ball then. Why wouldn't you decide to go play for Arsenal?
So it's a funny story. I met KPR director in like
Mm-hmm.
seventh, eighth grade, and this is before I knew about the Adidas gauntlet and all that. And I met him in a hotel lobby. We were staying in the same hotel, and he sat down and had dinner with me and my mom way back then and told us all about the Adidas gauntlet and what I had to look for in a team. And then
Mm-hmm.
later down the line, we stayed in contact. I needed a team.
Wow, that's crazy. Talking about some of your other teammates so far in Arsenal, what about them and how do they impact your team there?
Team Arsenal's I love the dudes over there. They're the hardest workers I've ever played with.
Mm-hmm.
My teammate Cameron, he's new to the squad. Super bouncy, crazy athletic. He's gonna help lead us to the Atlanta Rise finals, and hopefully we can win that. And then
No doubt.
we've got two of the hardest working defensive guards in the country. I've never seen any on ball defenders better than Luke Westermeyer and Gabe. They're crazy,
That's
insane
awesome.
defenders.
That's awesome. Let's talk about the season so far. How's your AAU season gone in terms of being successful, wins, losses? How's that working out?
We started off the season slow, but in our first tournament, I think we had 2 losses, and since then we've been clicking. We've had, I think, 1 loss in the Rise against Martin Brothers, which is the probably the top Rise Under Armour team. And
Okay.
now that we've got Cameron, we're looking to beat them in the Rise finals in Atlanta.
No doubt. So how do you expect to finish up in July?
AAU wise with Arsenal, we're definitely looking to win the Rise. We've beat a couple of UAA teams, and we're definitely looking to finish up the Rise in the finals, win that. So next year we can have that UAA contract.
That's awesome. So originally, were you considering any other club teams, or was it just kind of Arsenal stood out before everyone else?
Before Arsenal, I was looking around. Really, no one stood out. We were just trying to find a team that I could fit with. And as soon as I talked to Arsenal, that's just immediately where I went. There was no and if or but about it. It's just right where I went.
That's great. So let's talk a little bit more about improving this offseason. So what's one thing that you really worked on improving this summer so far?
This summer, my athleticism has gone through the roof as far as agility work, jumping higher, anything like that. And that's because I've been training with this place called Elite U. It's actually where Spencer Rattler worked out.
Mm-hmm.
That's, that's where he took his game to the next level, and I've been looking to do the same thing. Vertical's gone up at least 4 inches since then, so that's been crazy. And then
Mm-hmm.
as far as basketball, like skill work, it's just been off the wing. My handle game has gotten a lot better and been able to attack off the drive.
That's awesome. So is there one skill you really looked at and you know if you get that skill into your game at a high level, it's going to take your game to a whole other level?
It's going to be when I get more aggressive off the wing. So I have the skill sets, but I just need to put it more into playing games and attack and drive and dunk on people from the lane.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about your typical day in terms of workouts and trainings. How does that look and what's your hours and all that?
Usually I'll start off with Elite U training, and that'll be an hour and a half of training. And then I'll, of course, get in with my guy Kamar, and we'll do an hour to 2 hours a day of just skill work, basketball, anything I need to work on to get my game better. And then I'll
Mm-hmm.
usually go to LA Fitness and do a hour of stuff just on my own. And then depending on our high school schedule, I'll get lifting in with the high school guys too.
That's awesome. So let's talk about something like what do you necessarily take pride in as a player right now? What do you say is your strong suit when you play the game?
Right now, I love how much I'm in high school, especially for Sunnyslope. I love how I facilitate the team, and I've taken more of the leader role this year. It's kind of what I've been proud of, being able
That's
to
awesome.
lead the team to get the W's, get the wins.
No doubt. It's always a big time thing, especially when you're looking at being on a very good team when colleges watch you. Being the leader is always something that stands out no matter what.
Oh yeah,
So who's someone that you model your game after?
really been praying recently, but Kristaps Porzingis and Dirk Nowitzki have been my two kind of idols and who I want to play like.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. I mean, they're definitely two modern day big men that anyone could really, if you're tall and you can play like that, they're perfect examples because they don't really have the insane like skill set in terms of, or the insane like athleticism part, but their skill set is at such a high level that it's really hard to contend with them.
Yeah, they can stay up there with the best of the best, just based
No
off
doubt.
skill and height alone.
So when you first started playing basketball, what was the reason behind it?
When I first started basketball, I don't know if you remember this, but do you remember the Tom Kuiper leagues?
Kinda, yeah.
They were kind of huge. All the little kids would go there. That was kind of my first experience, and ever since then, I just had a love for the game and never stopped. And that was back in like first grade. I was tiny, just first playing.
Gotcha. So a lot of people know you and your family. I mean, you and your sister are both top players in the state in regards to your classes and all. Let's talk about how she helps push you and about your guys' bond in terms of playing basketball.
Oh, me and her push each other past our limits. We fight sometimes in the gym, but it's all love. And just having her around helps me get better, and I help her get better. She just got back from the Olympic trials playing an age group up, which was insane for her, so I'm proud of her.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And that's something that's really special. I mean, to have two siblings that are both at a high level, I mean, there's nothing really that can push someone more than that because you're always together.
Oh, yeah.
So what's one high school player you really want to team up with if you could pick someone from anywhere?
Me and Duran, my mom has actually talked to his dad. We'd love to team up eventually, if not in high school and college or something. So we just think our games would go so well together. Me and Duran Holmes.
Yeah, that'd be special. So what's one college player you really want to team up with if you could right now?
Nassim at Utah University. He actually went through Team Arsenal, and he's at Utah University right now, and I love that man. He works crazy hard, and he's athletic, loves to pass the ball. I love playing with him. I'd love to team up with him.
That's incredible. So is there an NBA player you've always dreamed of playing alongside?
Probably Kristaps. I love Kristaps. It'd be awesome to play alongside him.
No doubt. So what's one of the most underrated players out there? I mean, Arizona's got a lot of them because of how much talent there is, but who's some of the guys that really stand out to you that you think deserve more credit?
Well, to go outside of Arizona a little bit, my club team, Luke Westermeyer, he's the most underrated guard in the country. His defense is unparalleled by anyone that I've seen so far this AAU season. And then back to into the state, I have to go with my teammate Paul Hayden. He's athletic, got size, 6'5", can get in the lane, can shoot, can do a little bit of all of it. He's gonna blow up soon, and it showed at Section 7. He got interest from Air Force and I think one other D1 out of nowhere.
That's big time.
Oh yeah.
So what's one of the best players you've ever played alongside?
Best player I played alongside in a rec league actually was Kyrie Walker. Me and him used to get in LA Fitness all the time, and me and Kyrie in LA Fitness would run that. So I'd have to give it to my man Kyrie.
That's awesome. Who's the best player you've ever played against then?
The best player I've ever played against, my personal matchup would have to be against my guy Duran. Me and Duran have had some battles over the years.
Like I said, that's going to be a big-time game, especially, I mean, most likely you guys are probably going to end up playing each other in the championship this year, and that's going to be a huge game.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be crazy. We've had some crazy matchups over there, but I think that one will take the cake so far.
No doubt. So who is your favorite NBA team?
The Los Angeles Lakers. I'm a Lakers guy.
That's awesome. What do you want? What would you like to see the Lakers do this offseason?
I need them to sign one big-time player. I need them to get Kyrie Irving or KD. If they get that next third big player along with AD and LeBron, that's the team. They're winning. They're getting the finals.
No doubt. So do you like the AD trade?
I love it.
That's awesome. Yeah.
AD and LeBron, it's going to be crazy.
No doubt. I mean, especially when you look, I mean, it's one of those things that it could potentially, of course, be bad, but so could every trade, especially when you're talking about the superstars being dealt.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, it's going to be something that's going to be, I think it was a great trade for both teams, honestly. I mean, AD is most likely will resign next year, and he's Anthony Davis, but also Pelicans got an exceptional amount of young assets as well.
Oh, yeah, the Pelicans are going to be nice, and they're going to run the East Coast with their young talent and young core.
So what would you say would be your favorite NBA player? Porzingis or?
Yeah, definitely Porzingis. Porzingis has always been the guy I've watched film on, tried to base my game after.
So are you excited to watch him and Luka play next year together?
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a show. It's going to be crazy.
Oh, yes. I hope they get one of the guys since they have so much money. It'd be crazy to get them.
They've got the cap.
So let's talk a little bit more about free agency then. Where do you think Kevin Durant will end up signing?
I want to say the Lakers, but to be honest, at this point, now that he didn't accept the player option, where he's going to go, I'm hoping the Lakers will.
I think it's going to be interesting for him. I mean, he's definitely kept quiet, but I wouldn't be shocked if he goes to one of the two New York teams.
That wouldn't surprise me at all.
So talk about Kawhi then. I mean, he just won the NBA Finals. He's a champion now. He's regarded as potentially one of the top players in the NBA. Do you think he's gonna stay in Toronto or he's gonna leave?
I think he's gonna stay in Toronto. He's got a nice little squad there, he seems like he likes it. Like when they were celebrating, he was close with the guys. So I don't think I
hmm
see him leaving.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily be shocked to see him because you don't necessarily know with him a lot, but I don't know how you
Yeah.
turn down. I mean, there's not a best situation you can be on. I mean, you're a contender. Maybe they won't win next year, but he's still a contender. He got a ring, and considering some people are calling him the best player in the NBA. I mean, you
Oh
don't get
yeah.
much better than that right now.
Yeah. I don't see any place that would make him happier than being in Toronto still.
And you could, I mean, you can go live in LA in the offseason anyway. So,
Yeah.
so talking about Kyrie, then, where do you think he's gonna end up signing?
Kyrie's going to the Lakers. I already know.
Yeah,
Kyrie's
that'd be
going.
fun.
Kyrie's teaming up with LeBron again, and they're getting to NBA Finals.
I mean, that'd be fun, especially basically just replacing Love for Anthony Davis would be an upgrade, a sizable
That'd
upgrade.
be definitely be an upgrade right there.
hmm So talk about some of your role models in terms of just in your life. Who's someone that's invested in you and you really consider helping you the most through your life so far?
I'd have to go with Kamar. Kamar's helped me through everything. He got me back in before freshman year when I was barely dunking and unathletic, and he's developed me since then.
hmm
And then a little before that and up till now, Coach Princeton Steele, that he's helped me through everything. He's been there, comes to my game still helps coach me, helps me through the process of recruiting and all that. Those are my two big role models that I look up to.
That's big time. Well, it's been great talking to you, my guy. I can't wait to see how many more offers you continue to pick up in the rest of your high school season and your career goes. God bless.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yep, no problem. Coming up next, I'm going to let you guys know all about the Wild Wild West out in the Southwest Division. Houston Rockets, San Antonio Spurs, Memphis Grizzlies, New Orleans Pelicans, Dallas Mavericks. You hear a lot of young teams. You hear a lot of veteran teams. You hear a lot of rumors. I'm going to break it all down coming up next. First team in this Wild Wild West we're going to talk about is the Houston Rockets. They clearly finished as the best in the Southwest with a 53-29 record, but they failed in the playoffs. Now, crazy enough to think that this is the best year Harden's had in the playoffs by far, but yet they couldn't do it. We then hear rumors and stuff about them having drama. We've talked about that before. Them not want to be teammates and all that. Well, CP3 denied that. Darren Moore denied that. And then CP3 comes out and says, I don't want to be traded anyways. He plans on being there. I don't know what's going on in Houston. I do know this, though. The free agents are Nene, he hasn't opted out yet. Gerald Green, Vince Edwards, Daniel House, they tendered this option. Kevin Farid, Iman Shumpert, Austin Rivers, Chris Chios is restricted. That's really what you got there. Now extension available is Eric Gordon, but we expected him to be moved. See what happens there. So when you look at this now, I'm about to tell you guys next month's salary cap is going to be interesting. Because we hear the rumors now, Capella, Tucker, and Eric Gordon will be shipped out. And I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see them here. They've added some pieces, yes, but I'm not sure exactly to what degree we're looking at. That being said, salary cap, $49.3 million in cap holds between all those free agents and if they decide what they decide to do with them. And then this negative $16.2 million in cap room. There's not much room. They can't do anything. Which wasn't a problem re-signing these guys unless they want minimum contracts. That's when you ship all these guys out, you go trade for someone. As we've heard, they're confident in the pursuit of Jimmy Butler and they're planning on doing a sign and trade deal with the 76ers to go get him. Now, as I just said, they're going to try trading Capella. They're trying to get him a first round pick. They want a first round pick for Tucker and they want a first round pick for Eric Gordon. Not sure going to get it for both of them. But I think you might be able to get maybe a first round pick for Eric Gordon, but I don't think Tucker might get a high second round pick. We'll see though. But right now, this is the roster for the Houston Rockets. They didn't have a single rookie this year. They didn't draft anyone. Because they have Chris Paul, James Harden, Eric Gordon, PJ Tucker, Clint Capella, Gary Clark. You got Hardenstein, and you got the waiver claim they had in Deonta Davis. So I do like him. But besides that, there's not much. No trades yet. They've been really quiet. Haven't really done anything besides staying in the media. Now, according to the reports, there's a 50-50% chance that Austin Rivers does return. But it looks like it's going to come down to Austin Rivers and Kenneth Farid. Not sure who will get the final spot there. As I said, the confident in Jimmy Butler pursuit. Now, I think this. I just talked about this with LA. But LA's got LeBron James and Anthony Davis. That's nowhere near the James Harden, Chris Paul. I'm not saying James Harden's not up there. Chris Paul is a very, very good player, much respect for him, but he's not at that top 5 player level in the NBA anymore. As James Harden as his other guys are, but it's not there. So, with that being said, getting Jimmy Butler, I think, would be perfect. Only problem in this situation here is that there's not other money than to spend on other things. I just said you need other money. And the other problem is that you don't have a shot blocker. you need to go get them a shot blocker, which like Capella's good. So if you're going to tell me you're going to trade off your depth and you're going to trade off Clint Capella again, that's not good. They can't do that. You can't win with Chris Paul, James Harden, and Jimmy Butler, and that's it on the roster, are not going to beat any other team. They're not going to win NBA Finals. You need to go in depth, find a way to move Chris Paul, clear up that money, then maybe get Jimmy Butler, and then fill out the bench. Not sure what that trade might look like. Eric Gordon, you might have to piece a couple picks around. I'm not sure, but yet this trade's got to get done. Now, they are interested in Rondae Hollis-Jefferson. I like him as a potential PJ Tucker replacement, a cheap deal. Coming off of Brooklyn, struggled last year, was improving all the years until he took all the injuries, but he beat up last year. Now, here's some of the stuff. These are the guys that are targeting if indeed whatever occurs and how much money they can free up. DeAndre Jordan, he's born in Houston. He could also be the new Clint Capella for them. Trevor Ariza, bring him back. Danny Green would be a big signing. I like him. He'd be kind of like a poor man's in a way if you want to call him a poor man's Jimmy Butler. Jeremy Lamb, Al-Farouq Aminu. You got Brooke Lopez, and you got Kevon Looney. A lot of guys that are good players, good pickups. Kevon Looney, I think, will stay in Golden State, but I could see him in Houston. He could definitely pull off that Josh Smith role that Josh Smith played a few years ago for Houston, which was a solid role. Aminu could also be what Trevor Ariza was last year. We'll see, but Houston's got a ton of moves. I'm excited to see what Daryl Morey's got in his sleeve this year. Well, they did it again. Made the playoffs. You guys know what I'm talking about. They never are not in the playoffs. San Antonio Spurs, the Greg Popovich-led team, 48-34 record. All right, listen up, folks. I'm excited to get into this. Because there's some new energy I feel in San Antonio. I've talked about this. Maybe y'all not seen it, but I feel a new energy, a new vibe coming out of the San Antonio team that I'm hyped for. I've never really seen Greg Popovich as an athletic crew. I mean, you're telling me you're going to have all these kind of guys that know how to play ball. This is a new modern era, a new kind of game for Pop, and I think he's excited. You might not see it in him, you might not see the skills. If you're not really evaluating and watching the Spurs, you might not see it, but I'm hyped on this. Yes, you got the good guys. You got DeRozan, you got Aldridge, you got Rudy Gay. DeJounte Murray, y'all missing him. Oh, watch out. He's about to take off and might win a most improved player this year. I'm thinking he might just, and comeback player. You got Derek White balling up. Breen Forrest showed up big time. Lonnie Walker. I'm high on him. You guys know how I feel about him. All those kind of moves. Well, free agents, good things. Good news for them. Rudy Gay's only made one. Dante Cunningham was also free agent. Pondexter, yeah, but they didn't get much minutes. DeMontis Montezunas, he didn't get much when he signed there. That's what you got there. Oh, here's the big storyline. Extension eligible. DeMar DeRozan, Davis Bertans, Marco Bellinelli, Jakob Poeltl, DeJounte Murray, Breen Forbes, and Drew Eubanks. Now let's see what goes down there, because I'm going to have some bold predictions here. I wouldn't be shocked to see DeMar DeRozan moved. Listen, they have all kinds of guards and forwards, but it's kind of stockpiled. Because taking a quick look over right now, when you're looking at the guards and forward spots, shooting guard and small forward, and point guard, you have DeJounte Murray, Patty Mills. Shooting guard, you got Derek White, Breen Forbes. You've got Keldon Johnson, you got Marco Bellinelli. You got Quindary Witherspoon, you have DeMar DeRozan, Lonnie Walker, and you got the Luka Samanic. That's some big time, a lot of players that got a lot of potential there. Here's what I'm seeing right now. You're going to move DeMar DeRozan. Probably going to move Davis Bertans, maybe. I like him as a backup, though. Marco Bellinelli, I would be shocked to see him stay, although they do like him for veteran presence, possibly. Jakob Poeltl might be extended 1 or 2 years. I don't know how high Pop is on him. But DeJounte Murray, I think he will get extended, or at least have an injury settlement deal there. And Breen Forbes will be moved. Where's the salary cap, though, real quick? $32.85 million in cap holds, only $4.3 million in cap space. They have to free up some stuff. They have to go free up some space. So, you're looking at this now. Yeah, right now, I guess that's your roster. You got the forwards, though. You got Bertans, Shemenzi Mitsu, Jakob Poeltl, and LaMarcus Aldridge. I think they like LaMarcus Aldridge staying there, but I would not be surprised if we see some assets moved here. Maybe go get some either young player. I mean, Minnesota might be a team that's looking maybe to up it and go ship everything out. Maybe they can go try getting Karl-Anthony Towns. I doubt it, but we'll see. There's a lot of different players. NBA is changing constantly. They go get themselves a young power forward, small or center. You can space this out with DeMar DeRozan and Marcus Aldridge. I'm not talking just any day. I'm talking an elite one. I mean, you got DeJounte Murray locked in at point guard, I'd say. I say Derek, it's going to be tough because you got Keldon Johnson I'm very high on as well. But also you got Lonnie Walker. So right now you're looking at DeJounte Murray at the point guard, and they're going to have a battle. You're going to have it between Keldon Johnson and Derek White shooting guard. And at small forward, you could have Lonnie Walker. Lucas Samanic, I'm very high on. I like him a lot. We'll see what Witherspoon does. That's really what you got right there going on. But right now, say you have to move Forbes. Patty Mills to keep him as your backup point guard. Marco Bellinelli to keep him as a veteran presence to just get some good minutes. Maybe the 8th or 9th man on the depth chart looking, but you're going to give him some minutes. Maybe he'll want to request a trade. We'll see. But Breen Forbes must be moved. And then DeRozan and Aldridge, I wouldn't be surprised to see something like that. I'm very high on what they're doing. Apparently, they are targeting Bojan Bogdanovic. I do like that move. They also use a mid-level extension on someone like Trevor Ariza. Now, I think Bojan and Trevor Ariza must mean that Rudy Gay is probably not returning to the team. We'll see what goes down there, though. They also kept a close eye on Amir Johnson for a long time. I think he would be a great player to throw in there. Another veteran, just keep that team going. We know Pop likes his veterans. But this summer is huge for San Antonio. You guys might not all see it, But trust me, big things are happening in San Antonio, and it's big time, folks. All right, so Memphis Grizzlies, we got an interesting story there. I said most of this is locked in now. Memphis was a team. Now, this is what's cool about the West. You got teams now that, of course, are contenders up top, but it's becoming way more balanced out now. We have all these young teams starting to not be all those powerhouses, but they've got a superstar young core. We can name going on with those lists. But East is getting balanced. But the thing that's cool, everyone in the NBA is upping it. How many true trash teams are there right now? I mean, if you look at it right now, heading into the offseason, I'm not sure I'd really call anyone trash. Either they have an elite young core or a really good rising core, or there's a playoff team right now. There's not much bad in the NBA. I mean, I personally think it's the highest NBA's ever been at. Maybe in sports history, but let's talk about the Memphis Grizzlies more, though. Obviously, it's already changed a ton. You lost Mike Conley in the trade. We got a whole lot of stuff going on right now. Shake-shifting the entire team to a really good young core. Well, your free agents, Joakim Noah, I'm not sure if he's going to come back, but I do like him. I know they like him. He's a good backup center. He's showed that he can play. If not, he'll be in the NBA back again. Amir Caspi pretended to be moved out. He's gone. Valanciunas, he opted out, but expect him to re-sign. They're already working on a new deal. DeLon Wright, his offer was tendered. I do like DeLon Wright. I think he has the potential to be a starting point guard in the NBA. That's when I say Phoenix needs to go target. That's a very good option. I don't think he's going to want to back up, obviously, John Morant. TJ Miles, he was exercised as player option. He'll be back. I don't know if he's going to stay, but he might be moved. Tyler Dorsey, he was declined, but they are interested in a new deal with Tyler Dorsey. Now, extension eligible players. Chandler Parsons, they're just waiting for that contract to be over. They might even pair up a couple young assets now they are so deep with them and move Chandler Parsons. Yvonne Rab, he's going to be extension eligible. He's been playing. I don't know if he's getting an extension. Dylan Brooks, we haven't seen him in a year. We'll see what he's going to bring to the table. Javion Carter, I like him. I think he's on the spot. He's a very gritty player. That's going to be the new backup for Memphis, a shooting guard or point guard. Watanabe, they like him. Julian Washburn played up big time in some games there. And then Avery Bradley and Bruno Caboclo. Bruno Caboclo has earned a spot on the team, I believe, and he's at least earned a spot in the NBA. A very good NBA body, and Avery Bradley, we know what he can do, but he's a very good defensive player. I wouldn't be shocked to see a contender go after him. Now, salary cap, they have $67.8 million in cap holds, as I just said, a ton of names, and $10.3 million in cap space. So they can make some moves this summer, expect them to make those moves, and it's going to be fun to watch what they got in store for us. They've already got headed on that, though. Now, some trades. They also have the big Mike Conley deal, where they got Jay Crowder, Kyle Korver, Grayson Allen, and some picks. Then they also traded back and got Brandon Clark. So what you're looking at right now is a starting lineup with John Morant, Avery Bradley, Jay Crowder, Brandon Clark, and Jaren Jackson Jr. at the center. A very solid team. Now remember, Valanciunas is most likely coming back, but that's what you got. Then you got Javion Carter as the backups. You got Carter, you got Grayson Allen, you got Justin Holiday, you got Kyle Anderson, you got Yvonne Rab, you got CJ Miles, Bruno Caboclo, Dylan Brooks, and Chandler Parsons. I mean, you got a lot of pieces here, and I mean a lot. It's gonna be really interesting to see what they get done here. But like I said, I think Kyle Korver will be moved or bought out or released, whatever you want to call it. And I think he'll go to LA. Would be shocked if you don't see that happen. I mean, there's a lot of things. I think they're gonna have to just clear up the forward spot because they have some young core now. I like Jay Crowder. He's a good gritty player, but is he meant for a super young rebuilding mode? I don't know. I like Justin Holiday, keeping him there for a veteran. But I like the starting lineup potentially. I like Avery Bradley being there actually for this year, mentoring John Morant. But I say you got Brandon Clark, you got Jaren Jackson down there. And then I say you're going to start someone like, I say keep Justin Holiday in the starting lineup. Chandler Parsons might be able to earn it. And Kyle Anderson, whatever you want, but I say you're going to do that. I mean, there's going to be a ton of stuff. Obviously, the picks, John Morant, A+ there. You got your franchise point guard, I believe. You couldn't get a much better replacement for Mike Conley than him. And Brandon Clark, you guys know I love him. Huge congrats once again to Brandon if you're listening. I'm so excited for you, and that's a big-time team. I mean, you're talking about a young core, Brandon Clark, Jaren Jackson Jr., and John Morant. That's big time, folks. You're going to watch out. Memphis is building something with new head coach Taylor Jenkins. New Orleans Pelicans, baby. Wow. Tell me Langford and David Griffin and just come in and change this team. I mean, you're talking about something big time now. I mean, you went from a team that you knew we were going to have the Anthony Davis try to bring in assets, but you didn't know what that sport, how it was going to look. But this team has been pieced together into something that's looking really special right now. I mean, you're looking at free agents right now, though. Julius Randle, player option, has declined. I don't think he's returning. He sees the young core. He's not a part of it. Especially after Enes Kanter called him just an unathletic Zion Williamson. Yeah, he's not going to want to stay with that as a teammate. Expect him to go to a few different options we've talked about. You can see him at Brooklyn, Knicks, and Chicago are targeting him. Elfrid Payton's a free agent. He played good for them. They enjoyed him being back at home, but I think he's going to be on the move once again. Not a space for him with Lonzo Ball on him. That's not going to work well. Darius Miller, a good shooter. I think he'll be on the move. Maybe keep him as a veteran, though. Ian Clark, someone for Golden State. Watch to target him. He'll be interesting to possibly bring back. Stanley Johnson will be gone. That trial did not work well when they traded for him at the trade deadline. They declined his option. They also declined Cheikh Diallo. Kind of surprising. He's been there for his whole career so far. But expect him to find a spot. A couple teams are targeting him, especially they're targeting him out in Dallas because they have different assets. So they like him. Same agent as Luka Doncic and potential other target and Patrick Beverly. But I mean, you're gonna look at they got somebody saying Trayvon Blewett, Jason Smith, they waived him. Now extension eligible to each one more. He's a player to watch out for. A very good player that's high on still. Terrence Williams showed up big time. Frank Jackson, Jahlil Okafor, he got his option picks up. You got Davis Bertans' older brother Darius Bertans, and you got Christian Wood was balled up on the end of the year. I really like his game. We'll see what what happens with him though. Salary cap, they have $57.2 million in cap hold, $31.2 million in cap space. That's a whole max spot. That's what comes in. You gotta look at. Obviously, they picked up Alvin Gentry's team option for the 2020-2021 season, but they've been monitoring Bradley Beal. Now I talked about Bradley Beal probably won't be moved, but they really do like him. You possibly put together a package deal of quite a few good options. I mean, you're looking at this. You have a lot of young pieces. Why not potentially move Lonzo Ball? You just drafted Nickeil Alexander-Walker, possibly be that guy. I mean, you could ship off Josh Hart, something like Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, Christian Wood, Jahlil Okafor, and a few picks. They just stockpile on those picks. I wouldn't be shocked to see something like that, but that's not necessarily the only guy. Tobias Harris is the main guy I expect them to land. I wouldn't be shocked to see him go. I think that Tobias will not be remaining in Philly. I personally think that Philly's losing both of them, even though Philly says that they're confidently retaining both. I think they're going to lose them both. I really do. I mean, look at it. Tobias would fit in perfectly here. Look at this. Think about this. Think about this. You're looking at this team now, right? He'll be a starter. So you got Lonzo Ball at the point guard. Drew Holiday shooting guard. It's kind of locked in, although maybe Drew Holiday gets moved, but I don't think so. They like the veteran. He's a good mentor. Brandon Ingram, if he's healthy, will be there. And you're going to have Zion Williamson. You have Jackson Hayes. But Tobias Harris, where are you going to put him in necessarily? We'll see. I think you might consider moving one of these guys to the bench. Do they truly? I don't know if they truly sold on Lonzo Ball yet. If that's the case, that's what's going to probably work out better when you look at it. Lonzo Ball, he's a good player, but I don't know if he's meant for New Orleans. I still think Phoenix is a high option. So therefore, if you move Lonzo Ball, you're looking at Drew Holiday, you're looking at Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, Tobias Harris, and Jackson Hayes, and whatever you get for Lonzo Ball, which is going to be some assets, that guy might be starting. We'll see. Obviously, that all comes into plan. Let's talk about some of the draft picks they've got. Zion Williamson, A+. Obviously, you don't go much better than that. Obviously, number one pick. You don't change out of that. Jackson Hayes, huge pickup. I'm very high on him. Texas has been loading up products in the NBA. You got last year with Mohamed Bamba. Year before that, you had Jared Allen. Year before that, Miles Turner. I mean, what Shaka Smart's doing out there is absolutely incredible. Big time stuff what he's doing out there. Now, they also drafted Nickeil Alexander-Walker. A good pickup for him where they drafted him at. I like his game a lot. I mean, he's going to be a good tall point guard. You can develop him as a backup or third string, whichever way you really want to look at it. They got Luis Silva as well out of Brazil. He'll be a solid player, probably development, holding him overseas for a couple of years, and he might turn out nice. Also made the big Anthony Davis trade. We know that. They've been making a whole bunch of different picks. They already load up on picks on that pick when they traded out from number 4 from Atlanta, and they got off the Solomon Hill contract, which is big time. I mean, they really are nailing everything. You're going to go much better than this. They're also targeting Kevon Looney, who will be another good veteran, but also young player, maybe back up Zion Williamson. I mean, New Orleans is in the best situation right now. They have a very elite young core. I mean, you can't say they're not top 5, and they're going to be a super team down the line. But we'll see what they continue to do and how they build this roster. Finally, the Dallas Mavericks finished with a 33-49 record in the NBA this last season. They got some stuff going down for them. Obviously, they just have the Rookie of the Year and Luka Doncic. Big congrats to him. But you look at this, they got a young core. They did the big Porzingis trade. We'll see how he comes back from his injury and if they are able to re-sign him, which I'd be shocked if they don't. For free agents, you got JJ Barea. I expect him to come back, even though he tore his Achilles. I think he'll be okay. Solomon Measure, we'll see what he does. They tendered Dorian Finney-Smith contract, Maxi Kleber, and they also did, of course, Kristaps Porzingis, and then Dwight Howard is expected to be coming back as well. He's opting in, but they're going to do an extension. Then Dirk Nowitzki obviously retired. It's going to be a new post-Dirk era. Devin Harris and Trey Burke are all free agents as well. I don't know what we're going to see. I think Trey Burke's a good backup point guard. We'll see what team picks him up. I don't know if he'll be in Dallas necessarily. Maybe they do in case they don't believe Barea will be the guy. Extension eligible, Tim Hardaway Jr. Although I wouldn't be shocked to see him traded. Trade an asset along with him, move him off the books. Courtney Lee expects him to possibly be bought out or shipped out as well. See Lee being a long-term solution here. That's really what you got there. Cap room, it's a little confusing now. They're about $29 to $30 million in about cap room, cap holds, depending on what they do with Porzingis. They obviously move Finney-Smith and Kleber. Now, they have $46.9 million in cap space. As we're talking, that's 2 max guys. Potentially, you can ship it around and almost get to about a max and a half, potentially. That's where some of these guys come in hand. You're looking at a nice crew for Rick Carlisle, Donnie Nelson, Mark Cuban, and you know what they got up in there. Obviously, going to get Porzingis at the max deal, but he kind of already places the one because he'll be the first guy with kind of cap hold against that. Now, they're trying to go after Kemba Walker. I'm against this. I love the Kemba Walker to Boston hype, but I really want to slow down this one to Dallas. I'm not sure how him and Luka will play together. Luka needs the ball in his hands. Kemba does too. Nothing bad with either one because they both deserve it, but I don't see that working out. So I'd say if I was them, I'd pull out. Although it is kind of looking like that will be the case now. Now they are very much in play for Beverly. So without that half a max spot, he's the guy you pursue. I talked about his contract earlier, what he wants. Now you also look at this. They're interested in Mirotic. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens there. I mean, he's much further down the line than Patrick Beverly, according to Brad Townsend of the Dallas Report. But he's worth about 13 to 15 million. People are targeting him around 14 million, expecting him to get. So that might be a big contract. I'm not sure if you're gonna be able to get Beverly and him. I'm not sure Mirotic would fit in well, but we'll see what happens there. He'll be a very poor man's prime Derek, obviously. Now they're more likely to target Al Horford over Vucevic now, but Vucevic reportedly, I've heard this now, he will sign a lucrative 4-year deal at the very start of free agency. It's an unknown team, but it is not the Pelicans and it's not the Mavericks as some people have been rumoring, and obviously it's not Boston. But there is a team that he's got a deal lined up right now. It's pretty much locked in with a 4-year max deal, pretty much max deal. He's going to be heading right there on free agency. He's kept it very well secret as Al Horford usually does. He's been meeting with teams in Atlanta, but expect the deal to come out very quickly at the start of free agency on Sunday. Now, as I said, obviously they're in the deal with them and Mavs. Them and Celtics are on the front running for Kemba. I don't expect that to be anything. Now, if they don't get Kemba, which they're not supposed to, Carson pursued Tomas Satoransky, very big player in terms of how he handled Washington this past year. But then Cheikh Diallo, I've told you guys, he probably will be heading over here. They have a lot of interest in him as an unrestricted free agent now. I mean, Dallas has got a nice looking team right now. They said, I mean, you're looking at the guy they drafted, Isaiah Roby. I'm very high on him. Love the way he produced and performed at the draft combine. Not much true involvement picks, but here's what you're looking at right now. You got Ryan Brokoff. He's going to be a guy that might be released. We'll see if they like him or not. You got Tim Hardaway Jr., Luka Doncic, Kristaps Porzingis, Dwight Powell, Justin Jackson. You got Jalen Brunson, Courtney Lee, Isaiah Roby. And if they decide, it's a team option now on Giannis' younger brother, closest Antetokounmpo. Although we'll see what happens. They got a big time off season. It's going to be fun to watch what Dallas got, but they have all the chips to potentially pull off a massive move this summer. Coming up next, you're not going to miss it. I'm going to head over to the Northwest. Denver, Portland, Utah, Oklahoma City Thunder, and the Minnesota Timberwolves. All teams, a lot of moves, a lot of money, and it's about to go down. Get ready to see what's going to get ready to happen. Stay tuned. You're not going to miss the final division preview. Coming up next on SchuZ Views. You already know we're starting with the Denver Nuggets. They had a big time year. They busted out of whatever they were, and the core came together. Obviously, we know what Nikola Jokic and the crew did out there. Michael Malone led them to a heck of a year. 54-28 record. Obviously, here we're going to go now. Obviously, we know they got a franchise superstar in Nikola Jokic you can build around. They got the bench. They have the young guys. And they made a big move on draft day, which I'm about to get into in a minute. But in terms of free agents, Paul Millsap, he's on a team option. Now, it's interesting for a player of his caliber to be on a team option, but they want to keep Millsap. Don't expect him to be going anywhere. No other teams are going to be talking to him because the deal will be done. If they decline it, they're going to renegotiate, make it a little bit cheaper and more team-friendly, but we'll see. Trey Lyles, we'd like to hear about what they're going to do with him, but I expect him to be moved. He doesn't have a roster spot on this team. He's a player that you're going to want to watch. I like his game. I think he still has got a long career in this NBA. I think he reminds me a lot of what Terrence Jones was supposed to be. Now, Isaiah Thomas, I've talked about this. If you guys saw my tweet, Isaiah Thomas is not staying in Denver. He's thankful for his time. They let him rehab. They were good with him. Very good with him, to be honest. I think he's back. He's going to work in the gym. Now, if you're Phoenix Suns, this is the guy you target this offseason. Obviously, you re-sign your boys, whatever you need to do. You should have kept Uber. I don't know what the heck they're doing up there. But Isaiah Thomas, bring him back. Please, Phoenix. Oh, boy, Phoenix. Bring back Isaiah Thomas. You got to do it. You got to do it. What could go wrong if you don't bring back Isaiah Thomas? Worst case scenario, you get a guy that's not supposed to be in the NBA anymore, but he's on a cheap deal. It's a 1-year deal. It's all you're going to probably sign. Maybe get him $4 or $5 million a year, max, mid-level exception. Why not? I mean, what's the worst that happens? He's not going to be much worse if he is worse than any other point guards in Phoenix. He's a good veteran for the new guy, Ty Jerome. Let go Tyler Johnson. Trade him off. Figure it out. Isaiah Thomas, they got to go get him, boy. I mean, come on. Best case scenario, you get an MVP candidate. I mean, who's more fun to watch than Isaiah Thomas? There's not many guys. No one that plays with that much heart, but point is, they got to make the right move. But getting back in Denver, though. Tyler Lydon, he's going to be out. He was kind of a bust. Obviously, remember the Donovan Mitchell trade. Lost on that one. Now, extension eligible, Jamal Murray. He will get a lucrative deal this summer. Not sure if it'll be max, but expected somewhere in the 120 range. Juan Hernan Gomez, he might be moved. Michael Porter Jr., I'm not sure how high they are on him, but Torrey Craig improving. We got Will Barton. I wouldn't be surprised to see him moved. Torrey Craig, I think he's going to be a long-term piece here, but also Houston could be eyeing him to replace PJ Tucker. Malik Beasley, depends if they're going to go Gary Harris or Beasley, but I think one of those two will be moved this summer. Thomas Welsh will be out. Mason Plumlee, they like him a lot being the backup center. I think they must retain him. He's key to this team. Now, they've got $44.4 million in cap hold, so negative $12.1 million in cap space. That being said, there's not going to be much change other than via trade. So right now, you're looking at a team of Jamal Murray, Gary Harris, Torrey Craig, Michael Porter Jr., and Nikola Jokic. You got Monte Morris, Malik Beasley, Will Barton, Juan Hernan Gomez, and you got Mason Plumlee. Then you got Bol Vanderbilt. You got a bunch of guys. Now, the only draft player they got was Bol. Now, they didn't. I get my ass. They didn't really have a pick, did they? No, not really, no. But they paid Miami some cash. Cash for a lottery pick? No. He fell to 44. Yep, that's right. Bol. Remember, top 5 pick, top 10 then before the draft, maybe the lottery. The latest he's going to slide is 20. Yeah. 44. Yeah, Denver got him. Just like they got Michael Porter. Now, we're not sure if their process of holding a player out is as good as Phillies was. But Bol could have the potential to be a superstar. And oh my goodness. Listen to this. This could potentially be the lineup if everyone pans out to even be half. Let's say Bol and Michael Porter pan out to be half as good as they were. That's still starting mentality. Starting potential players. Here's a starting lineup. Jamal Murray, either Gary Harris or Malik Beasley, Michael Porter Jr., Bol, and then Nikola Jokic. Oh my goodness. That team is a super team they don't even want to mess with or think about. That's scary now. Monte Morris did become the Isaiah Thomas they were always wanted to. He's great for them. He's been absolutely fabulous. He's gonna be the long-term backup point guard. They're Fred VanVleet. Watch that. I just said Gary Harris and Malik Beasley will be moved. Will Barton might be moved as well. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of trades. I think might see some shuffling. They are deep. They got a lot of bench for the night. Might need to go chip out money, be able to get other guys done. But whatever it is, their GM Karnasovas has been absolutely fantastic. Michael Malone, big time. That's what we got for Denver Nuggets, though. I hope they continue to improve because this is saying something special. Man, the Portland Trail Blazers did it. They made it to the conference finals. That's big time for anyone. They finished with a 53-29 record. Big time. Now listen to this. Free agent Al-Farouq Aminu. I think he'll be out because of the guy that drafted him. We're going to get into a minute, and I love it. Seth Curry's a free agent. I hope they want to retain him, but he's going to get some money somewhere else, and they don't necessarily have a ton of money. Rodney Hood will be out. I promise that. Jake Layman, they extended his offer. I think they're interested in him. And they really want to bring back Enes Kanter depending on the price. Now, extension eligible. They just traded for Kent Bazemore, replacing the Evan Turner option. He's not necessarily extension eligible, though, because he hasn't been with them. Myles Leonard, he might be moved or he might be kept. Depends what they want to do there. Mo Harkless, I think he might be traded or just left and let him finish out a year and trade him on the deadline. And Labissiere, I think he'll be out of the league in the coming future unless he has a big summer. Now, salary cap, $30.62 million in cap holds with a negative $20.52 million in cap space. Obviously, they're going to pay the tax limit. No O'Shea's fine with that. They're making moves still. You look at this now. For Portland Trail Blazers, you got a squad. You really do. I love what they did to move the other day with the Kent Bazemore for Evan Turner deal. Because listen, you gotta realize something. Bazemore, in my opinion, is more talented than what Evan Turner could have been. Kent Bazemore is gonna fill what Rodney Hood was for the playoffs because they're not gonna be able to afford to bring him back, and Rodney Hood was huge for them. So right now you're looking at a lineup of. Well, let me talk about this first. The guy that drops in Nasir Little, one of the biggest sliders, and I think he's gonna be huge for them. At the least, he's gonna be Al-Farouq Aminu. At the best, he's gonna be one of the top two-way players in the entire NBA. He reminds me a lot of someone like OG Anunoby. He's going to come out and just play at a high level. You got Damian Lillard starting, CJ McCollum. You got Mo Harkless, Nasir Little, and Yusuf Nurkic right now. And then you might have Zach Collins starting until he gets back. I don't know when Nurkic will be back. You have Myles Leonard backing up Nasir Little, potentially even starting. Leonard played big time in the playoffs we saw. Then Kent Bazemore might either be starting, coming off the bench with Jake Layman if he can be retained. I think he will. Gary Trent Jr., then you got him and Anthony Simons. I'm not sure if they can get a chance. He might be a guy like Dennis Schroeder. They groom him, then they're going to have to trade him off of the backup player. Reggie Jackson, same kind of thing. But Anthony Simons is a big-time player. Now, we're going to hear for this. Damian, the Supermax can get done quickly. They're expected to sign him back for the 4-year, $191 million deal. He deserves it. He's big time. Talk about that. Now, listen, this is an interesting thing. Because of Al-Farouq Amino's contract, he is eligible to be extended up until June 30th, but most likely he will go into free agency as an unrestricted free agent, as he hasn't even talked to Neil Shea yet. And they were really interested, I said, in bringing back Enes Kanter. It all depends on the money. You're not moving too many of these guys, so I wouldn't be shocked. We'll see what goes down, though. But Terry Stotts, he's got a crew, and I think they really want to go repeat. But you got Denver coming up. You got a lot of guys coming up you're going to have to watch out for. But this Portland team is set. Utah Jazz, folks. Oh, my goodness. Can the season please start? Because I need to see me some Spider Mitchell, some Mike Conley, and Rudy Gobert. Wow. Oh, and by the way, don't forget about Joe Ingles. Oh my lord, they're making moves. You know what they got out there? Dennis Lindsey's making moves. Quinn Snyder. Oh my goodness. So you can talk about the free agent rookie Rubio. He's out. Obviously, Mike Conley took a spot. Rubio expected to go to Phoenix, Indiana, all over those places. Thabo Cephalosha, they like to bring him back. Same with Kepa Udo. Udo, I expect him to go to overseas again. But Thabo, we'll see. I think he could be a good rotation spot somewhere. An underrated poor man's Trevor Ariza. Now, Tyler Kavanaugh's out. The two-way guy, Sam Nasby Long. We'll see what goes down. Now, you got to think about this. Derek Favors, he has a team option. And it's going to come down to two players that we've heard now. It'll either be between Favors or Nikola Mirotic. It depends what they want. I like either option, but we'll see. Favors, if he goes to LA, I think they're going to get Mirotic out here. We'll see. Royce O'Neal, I like him a lot. They must extend him, I believe. Send him for 1 or 2 year cheaper deal. We'll see. I like him a lot. He's a really good defender. They also stepped up and started for them. And Ron Neto, I don't think they'll be staying because they clearly still are favoring and love Dante Exum. That being said, though, they have $39.6 million in cap holds, with not really much money to buy anyone, with $219,091,000, and free agency cap, that's not enough to sign a single player, so not much is going to get done there. But here's what you're looking at for starting lineup right now for the Utah Jazz. Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Joe Ingles, Georges Niang, and Rudy Gobert. Remember that power forward spot is safe for Favors or but just Mirotic. Your backup will be Exum. You're gonna have Wright Foreman, the rookie, Royce O'Neal. You got a whole bunch of guys. Brantley, you got Bradley, and you got Oni. Now listen, some of the guys they drafted. Jarrett Brantley, they drafted 3 times in the bottom 10 of the draft. Jarrell Brantley out of Charleston, he'll be a solid big man to watch out for. Small forward, power forward. Justin Wright Foreman out of Hofstra, he's a good point guard, shooting guard, kind of mix up. Watch out for him. And Mia One, one of the best shooters in this class. He's a stretch forward kind of guy. Expect him to do some damage. Now, obviously, the Mike Conley deal, I give that an A++++. I think they should have got that done on the trade deadline, but that's the guy, and this is a true contender you're going to have to watch out for now. They shipped out Jay Crowder, which is going to hurt them, but we'll see what goes down there. Grayson Allen had a big 40-point game to end the year. I talked about that. He'll be a good addition for Memphis. Just not sure what the level will be. If anything, Memphis lost down that deal, but they're looking good. So they did a couple other trades, moving out picks and all that. We'll see what goes down, though. They also are interested in Bobby Portis on the right kind of deal. He could also be a guy instead of Favors or Mirotic if you look for him. All I know is that Quinn Snyder and Dennis Lindsey's got things rolling, and Utah is a contender next year. Mark my words. All right, folks, the Oklahoma City Thunder. All right, but they got a crew. Before I get into this, 49-33. Now, Paul George saw his tweet. 2 healthy shoulders. He's back, boys. That's going to be something scary to watch. Now, yeah, I'm not going to go into the rant again, but chill on Westbrook. He'll show you guys up again. Don't worry. He's working. He's going to be back. Now, they're trying to avoid the luxury limit. So they're looking to potentially trade either Steven Adams, Andre Roberson, and or Schroeder. All very available. They could be moving all 3 before the free agency starts. Listen, that's why. Steven Adams, $25.8 million a year. Roberson, 10.7, and Schroeder, 15.5. They need to get into the limit. They don't want to pay the luxury tax to be eliminated in the first round. That's pointless. Nerlens Noel opted out. I think he'll be back, but we'll see. He's going to be a good backup center. Ryan Felton, same thing. I like him. Deontay Burton, they haven't offered him or Jawan Evans yet. Markieff, I don't expect to be back. He was mistreated, wasn't used right by Brad Donovan or Billy Donovan. I'm not a fan of him. You guys know that. But expect him to go somewhere like Brooklyn, go to a contender team where he can bring that toughness. And Patterson, he's back. He's going to go. Hopefully, they wanted to someday become what they were hoping Markieff would have been if they only utilized him right. That being said, $22.63 million in cap hold. Not a lot, but by the way, they're negative $41.85 in cap space. It's not going to get too much, so I don't expect them to make any moves. That's why they need to trim some of that money off. Trim at least 2 of them to get under the limit. Although right now, they drafted Darius Bazley, and I am so high on him. If you guys saw me too, he was one of my other guys that truly stood out at the combine. Huge fan and supporter of Darius Bazley. He's got all the skills. Coming out of high school, I forgot about him, just like Mitchell Robinson. Watch out. I think he'll eventually take Jeremy Grant's spot. Or even run at center. You can run him at a lot of things. I love Darius Bazley. You're looking at now Russell Westbrook, Andre Roberson, Paul George, Jeremy Grant, Steven Adams. I'm not sure what Roberson will be, though. We haven't seen him in a minute. Then you got Dennis Schroeder. You got Hamidou Diallo. You got Terrence Ferguson. You got Bazley, Patterson, Nadir, and Gratham all off the bench. They're going to have to make some moves, sign some guys. We'll see what goes down. But Thunder's got a squad once again. Not surprising. They just need to know how to coach. And we'll see what Billy Donovan. I'm surprised he's still there, though. Now, we'll see once again. But you're going to have to see Sam Presti. We know he's a great drafter. I think he drafted another star in Darius Bazley. A+ grade right there. I just don't know if he knows how to get the right coach in there. I don't know if he knows how to make the right trades. We'll see what goes down, though, but Oklahoma has a very important summer here, because I think this might be the last year for the window in Oklahoma City Thunder. All right, folks, the Minnesota Timberwolves, it's going to be big time. 36-46, y'all already know, you guys. They got my coach back, Ryan Saunders. The GM, Scott Lada, is doing work. Glenn Taylor, the owner, they got Rose Sauce up in there making the big time moves. Now listen, Phrase for them, Jeff Teague opted in. Taj Gibson, he's going to be gone. Tolliver's going to be gone. Tyus Jones, they tendered his offer. I think he'll be gone. Rose will be gone. Luol Deng will be gone. Cameron Reynolds, they might bring him back. I know they like him. Jared Taylor, Jared Terrell, and C.J. Williams, the two-way guys, are both gone. Jared Bayless will be gone. Mitch Creek has been released. Basically, they're cleaning house there. Darius Harsh, oh yeah, by the way, he was the only extension-eligible player, but he was traded. So they really have a whole new summer coming out. Salary cap, $70.2 million in cap holds, but negative $4.2 million in cap space. That be hence why they are trying to move Wiggins. So look at this. Jeff Teague, I don't think he's going to be staying too much longer. Watch for him to be traded because Minnesota's targeting all sorts of point guards. I mean, they're looking at Ish Smith, T.J. McConnell. They're looking at potentially Ricky Rubio reunion. They love the D'Angelo Russell situation, which I'll get into in a minute, as I told you guys I would. They're looking all over. So that means you're not going to go for Jeff Teague. So what you're looking at a roster of Jeff Teague, though, Jarrett Culver, Andrew Wiggins, Robert Covington, and Karl Anthony Towns, which guys like Josh Okogie, Jalen Noel, Basham Diop, you got Gory Dang coming off the bench. I mean, you got all these different kinds of stuff going down right there. So, what am I doing in Minnesota? You keep Wiggins. I don't understand this, but there's a problem now. I think it's a said done. They're trying to move Wiggins, and they're going to end up moving him somewhere like Miami, which I'm a huge fan of with Coach Spo. Because look at, you've got all these young assets now. You got Robert Covington, Keita Basham you got Jarrett Culver, Josh Okogie. You drafted Jalen Noel out of Washington, good player pick up there. Then you got Wiggins. They're going to have to move him just to make space. What I'm looking for is you get yourself a young point guard, maybe trade for one, someone like Delon Wright. So that'd be someone you look at. Especially then you're looking at Delon Wright, you're looking at Josh Okogie, Jarrett Culver, Robert Covington, Karl Anthony Towns. I like that crew. They got all the different kinds of stuff going down there. They're going to be able to clear money, clear space. Gory Jang contract's coming up soon. Jeff T got issues there. We'll see what's going down here, though. I like it. And speaking of the trade, though, Dario Saric for the number 11 pick, and the number 11 pick to go to number 6, great. Culver's the guy you got to love. You can't pass on him. And maybe it's Okogie that's going to be an odd man out. You truly are looking at a new point guard, and you got Jarrett Culver, Wiggins, Covington, Towns. You guys are missing out Covington. He might be the best defender in the NBA in terms of man-on-man forward defender. I love him. Now, let's talk about D'Lo. Before that, they are interested in RHJ. I'm not really sure why. He's basically Keita Basham, like really the same thing. So I'm not really sure how true that interest is there. But D'Angelo Russell. Y'all get D'Angelo Russell. You guys are able to figure that out by potentially trading off your next year's first round pick for Jeff Teague, by moving Gorgie Dang for a few second round picks, maybe moving off Robert Covington's deal. I'm not sure what to do, but if you get D'Angelo Russell, Brooklyn, I don't want Brooklyn trading him, but if they can figure that out, I might just have to watch out because D'Angelo Russell, you pair him with Wiggins and Towns, and you give him some defenders like Jarrett Culver, and you give him Ryan Saunders. Okay. You're talking about something special there, folks. They're supposedly trying to get him. Wiggins, they reportedly tried to assign trade deal on the draft day for Wiggins and D'Lo. That was ridiculous because Brooklyn's not using a max spot on Wiggins. I love you, Wiggins, but Wiggins talking about Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. That ain't there. So, D'Angelo Russell, pathway to sign D'Lo from Minnesota. Watch out for that, folks. LA, interesting. New York, yeah, sure. Phoenix, no. Utah is filled by Mike Conley. Indiana, potentially. But Minnesota, good friends with Karl Anthony Towns. You can still be the number one scoring option out there. Towns is a different kind of guy. He's like the MB, where he's going to be getting points no matter what. He's a big man. But you're talking about something special out there. That's where I'm looking at D'Angelo Russell heading to Minnesota. But watch out. Big summer for Minnesota. I think you guys should all keep an eye out because they're got something planned that's very special out there. I love caring. I love giving. I love being a good teammate. I'll hit that up. Andre Iguodala's story about Mark Jackson. Not sure about that. PJ Tucker doesn't really care about chemistry. We're talking about back in the day. Oh, okay. I don't want to spoil too much for you guys, but you guys know what's coming up next. SchuZ Zone, the big closing, fan favorite. Stay tuned. I'm going to have those topics and a few others. First of all, I just want to give a big applaud to LeBron James. Now, I think there's something else crazy, though. Yes, he gave his jersey number 23 to Anthony Davis, but it signifies something. We all know what number he's going to. He's not going to pick some other thing. It's number 6, folks. LeBron James will be number 6 in LA. Two things I want to talk about. First thing, it signifies something. It signifies a new era in LA. It signifies a new change. Like last year was just a year to throw away. See, this signifies a new LeBron James. You guys remember when he left Cleveland? He went to Miami. Turned up a big time and went scary out there in Miami. That's when he formed a legit super team. Well, that turned on to a whole other monster out there. Huh. What signifies a new change? It's a new change for LeBron. It's like going to a new team. Because it is a new team. There's no one who's going to have the same roster besides Kuzma. Maybe a Caruso. That'd be fun, but no, not really. I mean, you're talking about LeBron James, we're number 6. That's scary, folks. Watch out. Yes, AD, we're number 23, big time, whatever. But now, yeah, LeBron James number 6. I don't want to watch out. Player number 6, LeBron James, his agent. Oh, and Anthony Davis. Rich Paul and Clutch Sports now have 4 guys on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Jordan Clarkson fired his old agent and went with him. Then I got Tristan Thompson, J.R. Smith, Darius Garland, and Jordan Clarkson. We'll see what goes down there. J.R. Smith's supposed to be released any day now. And Jordan Clarkson supposedly might be traded now. Tristan Thompson, same thing, so we'll see if they all last. But just want to touch up on that real quick. PJ Tucker says, I don't care about chemistry as long as Houston wins. Well, you're probably not going to get Houston, sorry to break it to you, PJ, but I don't care about chemistry. That's something back in the day. I'm not sure if that works anymore because people are too soft. No, it does. You don't need the best chemistry. You just got to go out there and win. Put your things aside and play the game of basketball. Fun story, Draymond Green and Chris Paul. They're expected to be involved in Space Jam 2 and potentially even Stephen A. Smith. If you guys seen the scene, Draymond was there. Klay Thompson was there, but hobbled. Now, I'm going to close SchuZ zone and something got to talk about. You guys heard Andre Iguodala say Mark Jackson was blackballed from the NBA. Upsetting. Mark Jackson did something I wasn't even really aware of, and you guys know how involved I am in faith and Christian. I'm a strong believer in my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, no doubt about it. But Mark Jackson, I didn't even know he was that strong of a Christian. Apparently, he offers to his teammates that, well, you guys can go to church out of chapel on Wednesdays. Well, talk about that. I'll state a couple of stances of public views in the world. You guys, I'm not going to touch up on that. You guys can listen to the interview. You guys know what I mean. Point is, it's upsetting. I hate when stuff. Anything that deals with race, anything that you're not allowed an opportunity is horrible. Especially when this one wasn't even forcing, this wasn't anything. I hope Mark Jackson gets an opportunity because he was a good coach. Truly was a good coach. And it's upsetting to see something like this occur to him. I feel horrible, but I'm glad Andre Iguodala brought light to this because he's one of the most respectful players in the entire NBA. But that, folks, is what I got for you guys in the SchuZ zone. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Catch me for my free agency preview and an update about the top 120 players. Oh, you're not going to miss that coming out on Sunday. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me in the past 2 episodes that I've given you guys all the preview you guys need for all 630 teams in the entire NBA. Now, I'm going to give you guys another preview in a couple of days in terms of, well, what's going to happen with the player side. That being said, though, I just want to thank you guys once again for joining me. I hope you guys all enjoyed as much as I did. That being said, I have a show dropping Wednesday, the very first episode of The Breakdown with Quincy Taylor. You're not going to miss it. Trust me, guys. You're not going to miss it. Please, stay tuned. Go check out my Instagram and Twitter. That's where you're going to be able to find it at. All the way, go follow Zach Shoemaker. Go subscribe to my YouTube channel at SchuZViews Zach Shoemaker. That might be up for change, but I'm going to go follow my social media pages to figure that out. Go like my page, SchuZViews Zach Shoemaker on Facebook as well. Now, whatever platform you're listening to, I know you're listening to it. Go subscribe. Just go do it. Leave a 5-star, leave a comment, whatever it may be. That means the world to me, and that helps brand SchuZViews to bring it to a whole other level. Truly does make a huge impact for me. Now, voice messaging. I want you guys all to get involved in SchuZViews. No matter what it is, send me a voice message on Anchor, DM me, text me, whatever it may be, so I can let you guys know more about that. Now, upcoming, oh boy, we got all kinds of stuff coming up. You're not going to miss what Isaiah Brody from Chandler. His big summer is doing so far. Ty at Washington, he's had a big time offer. He's lighting it up in Arizona. Ashton Hardaway, he's big time incoming freshman. Ty Harper blowing it up from all kinds of dunks this summer so far. Oh, then you're going to hear Marjon Beecham, one of the newest players from Bellevitch. You might have heard of him in the Jalen Anderson thing. He's coming on right before I head into the recruitment video, a recruitment episode with Devin Cambridge. That's going to be big time. You're not going to miss where he wants to go. Coming out right after the Peace Jam. Then I'm going to head into the Strive for Greatness series. I got a Dream Vision series down. We're working on Content Magic. We got all kinds of stuff going on. You're not going to miss it. Big time feature with SchuZ Views. Oh, and the breakdown special as well. That being said, though, everyone, I just want to let you guys know, SchuZ is out. Everyone go be the light of God. And God bless.